Student ownership of their learning. When was the last time you were so engrossed in an activity that you lost all track of time? Why did you start the activity in the first place? How often do you find yourself in situations that are highly engaging? What would happen if students' daily classroom experiences were so engaging that they lost track of time? What if your assessment practices could be part of creating that environment? Too often, teachers settle for asking questions like, how can I get students to follow directions? Or how do we get students to complete all their work? Or how can I get students to try their best on tests? Even if teachers could answer these questions and get students to do these things, it's unlikely students would continue learning at the same rate on their own. Instead, solid assessment practices should engage students deeply enough in the process of learning for them to develop habits that propel them forward even faster than if they passively followed teachers' directions. Student ownership means they are willing to invest time and effort in their learning. So the question should be, how do teachers move beyond compliance to actually engage students in their learning at a deeper level? And what could be possible if they did? For starters, students would face challenges with tenacity, develop more confidence in themselves, and see failure as a chance to grow. In order for students to take ownership of their learning, they have to understand what they're learning, what it looks like to do quality work, and see where in the progression of learning they're at any given moment. The teacher is pivotal in this process by providing structures that students can use to learn how to take over. Some traditions are so embedded in the education system that they inadvertently take over and prevent this kind of ownership from developing in students. Those detrimental traditions include focusing on accumulating points, grades, or scores, and jumping through metaphorical performance hoops. The characteristics of a classroom where students are invested in their own learning include some key characteristics. There is a clear picture of what they're learning. The work they're asked to do is meaningful and connected to the learning goals. Students use their strengths to get from one level to the next, no matter where they start. And the teacher is constantly responding to students to increase their achievement, motivation, and confidence. In other words, there's hope. Once those things are established, teachers can start thinking about ways for students to keep track of their own progress as a primary way for taking ownership and accelerating their learning. Some examples of learning trackers that students can use include graphs. Many academic skills can be tracked with graphs. Reading levels, sight words mastered, fluency progress, and more. Steps and stars. When teachers break down a learning goal into the progression students go through when they learn it, students can keep track of each level when it's mastered. As they color in each star, they're motivated to start working toward the next level. Students who are invested in the learning process learn at a faster rate and develop longer-term motivation.